channel, everybody. I hope everybody had a great week this week. I hope they had a safe week. So this week's video is going to be a continuation of the window frame and windshield makeup. Just to give you a little explanation of what I ended up doing, I priced out the framework that supports the glass, and it was crazy expensive. It was through one of the distributors. They were going to charge almost $300 just for that framework that supports the glass, not the whole windshield. The whole windshield can be like $600 to $800. So I'm not going to spend that much on it. So what I decided to do is try to fabricate it myself and see what I could come up with. Worst case scenario, if I end up finding those parts at a swap meet, that's what I'm kind of planning. I can switch it out very easily, just a matter of a few bolts. But I like the chance to do fabrication when I can, because I feel like I get better and better as I go along. So if anything, it's just a little bit of schooling for me. I also want to welcome the new subscribers to the channel and say thank you to all the subscribers that I already had and very supportive and comment and give me encouragement, because I find it's very encouraging to see new subscribers, because it makes you feel like you're doing good and you're doing things that people want to see. So if you do like these videos, if you could subscribe, and also maybe tell your friends, people that are like-minded like you, that like Jeeps or like mechanics or like making anything. But enough of me talking, let's get to work. I ended up getting to make the windshield repair. The combined prices between all of these were $30. That's why I'm not too worried if I end up having to get rid of it, because $30 isn't too bad. It's a small price to pay to get a little education and a little practice. So I'm going to use that to fabricate the windshield, and this is the bottom bar that supports the bottom part of the windshield hole bracket. So let's move on to fabricating the windshield. Right, so now I'm going to work on this lower bar. I'm going to get a measurement from both insides of the pipe that go across here. Then I'm going to add a little bit to that measurement, so I can grind out and make a little concave curve, just so a lot of this area can be welded, and just to make this nice and strong and make it so it's a nice joint through there, so I can get in contact with a lot of this metal. So that measures about 4 feet. So I'm going to add a quarter on both sides, so make it 48.5 inches. So I know there is a tool that will make a perfect concave curve right here. But unfortunately I do not have that tool, and I don't do this enough where I can think of getting one of those. What I'm going to do is actually just use a grinder and just try to do it by hand, make a nice curve in that. cut a piece of sheet metal to cover this area here. I'm going to actually split the middle of the pipe here where I'm going to be able to comfortably weld it. And I'm going to actually graft this piece of sheet metal from the original piece of sheet metal with the embossed lettering on it. And I'm going to graft that into the sheet metal right in the center. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to actually butt weld it. I asked recommendations from different people what they would do, and it was unanimous that everyone said I would definitely butt weld it, just so it looks seamless and it don't look like it was an added on thing. Thank you very much, everybody that's given me good comments, advice. I've been getting a ton of good advice and all positive, and thank you very much, guys. Get the center of this marked out and the center of it going this way marked out. So now I'm going to just trace this out, but I'm going to make sure when I cut this out, I want the opening to be a little bit small, and I want to be able to grind it so it gets to the point where it fits very tightly, because this is going to be butt welding. So I just want to make sure that everything's nice and tight and fitting very well, no big gaps. Because I'm dealing with this old metal that I feel like is thin in a lot of spots, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I have this in position now, ready to go, ready to weld. So I have a massive weight on this side just to hold it in position and to keep it flat. Now I'm just gonna take and weld it in different spots periodically until this whole area is welded up. I'm gonna alternate the area that I weld just so this, by heating the metal, it don't distort it too much and make it all wavy. We'll see how that goes. So I got this part done. I'm not terribly unhappy with it. I mean, some of the areas kind of blew through because this metal is so thin, but I can fill those in and just continue to fine tune that. But I want to move on and continue on the framework for the window. So I'm going to grab a little lunch and then I'm going to come out and start on that. Now I'm going to work on the framework for the window. I'm going to get a measurement from this end here over to here, 47 5/8. So that's going to be the measurement for the bottom rim. And also the length of it is going to be about 13 and I'll go 13 3/4. So we'll make that up now. I'm thinking of using this 1/2 inch angle iron and using this piece of 3/4 flat stock. And I'm gonna weld them together and that's gonna make the framework. I actually got some advice to go to a glass shop and see if they have this channel material. And the only material that they had, I went to 2 places and they only had this in aluminum, and I didn't want to use aluminum because I want to be able to weld it. So this is what I came up with. I'm going to use this material like this and see if I can get rubber gasket material to go on the inside of that. And like I said, it's cheap enough where I'm just going to experiment with it. If it don't work, then it's not a big deal. Now that I have those made up, now I'm going to miter the corners. The corners nice and tight and make sure they're square. I'm going to use this corner clamp and weld that up. So all I have to do now is just mount these brackets. I welded some extension plates just to extend away from this framework and have a little spacer on the bottom so I can put screws up through there. So I have this ready to go here. I got it pre-drilled, I just have to finish drilling now. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this. These are all connected. It works pretty good. It pivots out like it's supposed to. Tighten this up here. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. It definitely has enough room to fit a window in this groove right here. And it all works good. I mean, it's not perfect, but the vehicle isn't perfect either. I can actually almost picture driving in it. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. Next week, we are gonna work on the shocks and start prepping the body to be mounted. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next week. And try to keep safe, guys. I will see you.